Hey everybody, it's the Last Robo-Kai here, and welcome to episode 9 of Let's Play Dawn of War. Last time, we stormed a chapel, and then drove round the back of it where the gate wasn't, and just kind of awkwardly ran over a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen that spawned there. That planet is crazy, and it has crazy evil things that we're trying now to stop the Chaos Forces from unearthing, and Isidore from licking. And joining me is...
I'm cool guy. Yes, that's still a joke, okay?
We're just gonna be just the Maledictum.
Maledictum. That's a better name for it.
But yes, we are now down to the wire. Sindri, the Alpha Legion Chaos Sorcerer, and Lord Baal are enacting the final moments of the ritual to use the key to unlock the Maledictum. We're gonna stop them. It's pretty bad. So let's get stuck straight in.
Tartarus is a planet gone mad. Over 60% of the population has fallen to the Orc forces, and what's left of the Imperial Guard are fighting a desperate losing battle to protect those that remain as they leave the planet. The traitor Imperial Guard we encountered in Louvre-Mar are not the only ones. Nearly 25% of the Guard has treacherously turned on their former comrades, forming maniacal blood cults that ambush and carve up their fellow guardsmen. Certainly, I have seen the powers of chaos affect the minds of men, but never so many at once, and never so quickly. The Imperial Navy holds orbit, and the Blood Raven's own battle barge, the Litany of Fury, awaits a call from me to send transports to pick up all Blood Raven forces on a moment's notice. We are prepared to leave this doomed planet. But before we go, there are things we must do first. Put a stop to the forces of chaos, and destroy the Maledictum, or die trying.
Equally likely.
Man, it's looking kind of shit out there today.
That's a lot of orcs.
The universe rewards those willing to spill their life's blood for the promise of power. Sindri! What, my lord? The traitor Imperial Guardsmen have fallen. So quickly. I expected them to last a bit longer. Some of them have betrayed our opposition to the Blood Ravens. They're on their way here, now. Continue chanting. I shan't be long. The circumstances you mention are divine providence, my lord. Everything is as planned. Once I dispense with this last obstacle, you will have that which we have plotted and schemed to achieve. And if the Space Marines should arrive before Providence graces us, then we shall play the good hosts and indulge them in a bloody feast. At all costs, however, keep them from interfering. This is a delicate process that cannot well afford any more interruptions. And, might I advise you, throw everything at the Blood Ravens. Everything. Their every contribution in this matter is paramount, especially when we are so close. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Power demands sacrifice. Now you know what we fight and why. We will launch a two-prong assault against the temple with the help of several guardsman units who remain loyal to the Emperor. We must stop our adversaries from uncovering the Maledictum.
Come with me. You have new orders. We know of a hidden way into the temple. Tell no one else. It is a surprise.
Surprises are bad.
Yeah, surprises in this particular case are really awful. So we start out just playing as Inquisitor Toth.
Control of the 4 relics from the vile forces of Lord Baal. We cannot stop until they are ours.
I am prepared.
Yeah. He's essentially a
Captain has gone
librarian.
to secure the southern flank, and left it to us to breach the main defenses.
Yes,
We will not fail him. Is this understood? For the Emperor.
Yeah, so it was nice to see, you know, Inquisitor Toth was actually on the level. He wasn't a magnificent butthole who was actually like a secret traitor the whole time.
Yes, my lord. Ready to
The
serve.
relics are sure to be well defended. If
Yes,
we
my
cripple
lord.
the Alpha Legion's infrastructure, they will be no match for our might.
Yes, my lord.
And we get access to the guard again, and we also get access to the Lehman Rosses. Now, it's kind of weird what happens with the Lehman Rosses. They over time heal up, and when they reach full health, they drive out and we can use them. And it does that like one at a time over the course of the mission.
Protects.
Which, you know, that's basically just the game acknowledging how fucking ridiculous Lehman Russ tanks are in this game.
Yeah, it's just like, look, we'll let you have them, but we're not going to let you have them all at once, because then you win.
Yeah, like
Just drive
that
them
is
straight into the enemy base and win.
yeah, like if you have all 6 Lehman Russ tanks, that's very much a GG moment.
I'm going to, for the most part, not use them too much. Mostly because I won't need to, but also because I just kind of want to hold the line, like, with the guardsmen. With the Imperial Guard and use the Space Marines to do stuff.
That is what they are best at.
None can stand before the Inquisition.
Yes, we'll see that in Winter Assault.
Oh man.
Ah, God.
Yeah, that definitely look forward to that. It will be a real treat.
It's such a
I
good
should follow up from last episode real quick,
Reporting, sir.
just to finish talking about the other 2 Chaos Gods that I didn't get to. The first one, as I mentioned, was Nurgle. He is the god of life, growth, and also plague and pestilence. So he's a very happy, jolly gentleman. He just wants to give you all of his gifts. It's just that, you know, his gifts are things like typhoid fever and that sort of thing. So
He's not very popular in 2020, I'll tell you that
he's
much.
really not very popular in 2020. You know, like all of that COVID stuff. That's all Papa Nurgle's work. Sad to say. And then the last one, as we've already spoken about a little bit, is Slaanesh, the Prince of Excess, who, despite having a male epithet right there, is frequently referred to as both binary at once. It was Slaanesh was created by the Eldar just not stopping ever at anything. But the thing about Slaanesh is that Slaanesh is also the patron of culture, dance, and all of those sorts of creative pursuits. So, you know, like all of the Chaos Gods can't be completely taken out of the universe so long as any kind of sentient life existed. Which, again, following up, is another reason why the Emperor's plan was never probably going to work the way he thought it was going to.
Not on a galaxy scale.
Not on a galactic scale, because
scale.
even if the Emperor had managed to spread the Imperial beliefs all over the entire galaxy, and humanity was the only race out there that had any real impact, just the fact that, you know, we have bacteria in our guts that help us digest food would have kept Nurgle alive. Just the fact that humans sing and dance would have kept Slaanesh alive. You know, like, they always would have been there, ready to corrupt the world and rip back into the universe at a moment's notice.
didn't. I kind of just thought the Lehman Russes would kill them a lot quicker than they did, and they didn't. And as a result, I lost both my servitors, but it's fine. Little embarrassing, but you know, like
the greatest part of that was the cultists gurgling about how have we failed as the artillery just flattens everything around them. Oh God, that was too much. So beyond that, we should probably actually talk a little bit about the specific Chaos Legion that we're fighting, because they're actually interesting.
Yeah, so this is the Alpha Legion, and we did mention before, the Alpha Legion's primary doctrine is that every single soldier, from Marine to Lord, you know, from bottom to top, is trained to be self-sufficient and an agile tactical thinker, and to be able to act subversively if necessary. And so this falls into one of the big primary things of the Alpha Legion is that they will often win their conflicts by way of first destroying the enemy from within and then hitting them from without. Before the Horus Heresy, when the Emperor made his Primarchs and recovered most of them and spread out into the galaxy to conquer it once more in the name of man, the last one to be found was the Primarch of the Alpha Legion, and actually met Horus. Didn't actually meet the Emperor. The rest of them, it was like the Emperor came and saw them. In the case of Alfarius, it was more like Horus was having a huge amount of trouble with like this like giant like space pirate group. And the space pirate group actually like managed to get in and like storm Horus's flagship. And when the captain of the pirates met Horus on Horus's flagship, they were like, "We're related, aren't we?" And from there, the Alpha Legion finally got their Primarch, and he began teaching them the ways of doing things super sassy tactical and super sassy subversive. And the plans would often have a lot of steps into them. They would often be very unorthodox, and were very effective at catching people off guard. But at the same time, was often criticized by those such as the Ultramarines Primarch as being a little bit too excessively convoluted for the sake of being excessively convoluted. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, you did pull that off, but you probably could have done this quicker if you just did a little bit more directly instead. Like this whole bullshit wasn't really necessary. And you know, the Horus Heresy novels actually added an extra sort of thing to the mix, and it's the fact that Alfarius isn't the only Primarch of the Alpha Legion. It's funny to say this, but when the Primarchs were scattered across the galaxy by like through the warp, in a few cases the energies of the warp did get into the baby capsules that they were inside of, and did mark them in certain ways. The Primarch of the Thousand Suns, Magnus, had only one eye as a result. The Primarch of the Space Wolves developed wolf-like features. Lehman Russ. The Primarch of the Blood Angels, Sanguinius, grew wings. And so it's fairly safe to say that if it wasn't an intended factor, originally, the powers of the warp probably resulted in Alfarius' pod having twins instead. And so the twin Primarchs, Alfarius and Omegon, if that's even how you pronounce your name. I like to pretend it's just oh my god, there's another one.
Omegon is definitely closer to how it's intended, but I think I like your pronunciation better. It's way more amusing. Also, just as a point before the comments light up, there like small correction with regard to Magnus. He had a third eye, not one eye.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, he had a.
I know the comments are lighting up already. Like I took care of it. All right.
Wasn't he originally a Cyclops? I could have sworn he was originally a Cyclops.
He had the third eye, and that mutation made him like half feared, half respected on his homeworld, which turned him into a hermit, which made him really, really happy when the Emperor showed up and was just like, "Yo, yeah, you're actually special. and you should follow me because I'm putting you in control of your own legion. We're gonna go do a thing. Now, of course, having any kind of mutation like that made a lot of the other Primarchs suspicious of him.
Yes, my lord.
It's like, wow, I don't trust him. He looks funny, and they turn to Sanguinius, and Sanguinius is just like looking at them with his bottom lip quivering, and they're like, "No, we don't mean it. Like, I'm sorry." Sorry, everyone loves Sanguinius. It's the
Everybody
funniest thing.
loves Sanguinius.
He has. Have you ever seen like the Japanese animations where it's just like there's like the little kid and everyone's just like, I must protect him. Sanguinius was like that, only he was just as big and strong as the rest of them, and possibly like went into like blood frenzies and like pulled people apart with his bare hands if he upset them. Yep. So it's just kind of like that. I must protect my little winged ball of fury.
Yeah, he maxed out strength and he maxed out charisma. That was his character sheet, all right? I mean, it was a weird one, but clearly it worked for him.
And I joke about that, but I love Sanguinius as well, so it's like it clearly works.
Everybody loves Sanguinius. Like, I'm not even gonna mess with you
on it. He's my favorite. He's my favorite. I don't even fully understand why he's my favorite. The Primarchs are all very interesting, very complex characters, and the Horus Heresy novels are very interesting in how they explore them. And so Alpharius and so another big thing, honestly, about the Alpha Legion is though in the wake of the Horus Heresy, when the Alpha Legion were actually brought to conflict, the Greater Legion was brought to conflict by the Ultramarines, and so Guilliman and Alpharius had a little bit of a rivalry going, because obviously one guy has the big book of how to do everything, and the other guy has the, just fucking make it up as you go along, who cares, lol. But not that bad. But, so, they would often sort of, they would often quarrel. And so, as it ended up happening, the Ultramarines and the Alpha Legion squared off, and the Alpha Legion, you're like, look, we've got the book, we know everything this guy is gonna do, or what he's not gonna do, so let's just get ready. And so they formed up, ready for it, and then Guilliman took out the Codex Astartes, turned to the page that says things you should do only in an absolute extreme emergency, 1 in a million shot, it's a bad idea, and went, let's do that. Did it. Landed in the exact middle of the command center of the Alpha Legion, and presumably killed Alpharius. Now, of course, as it's later been shown, there was 2 of them. Not even sure if that was the guy that was either of them, because the nature of the Alpha Legion is that by having them able to basically act as Alpharius, and more than a few were actually like had their physical appearance altered to look like Alpharius in order to spread, in order to sort of, have it so it was very difficult to identify who the command was, and if you were even looking for a head to cut off, it's not even worthwhile. In fact, that's like a big thing is even though this Alpharius quotation marks died, the Alpha Legion were still able to fight on pretty comprehensively. And now we finally get our deployment of Space Marines down here, landing a drop pod on the scouts. I feel that was like incredibly rude.
I mean, it was probably also intended just because some dickhead thought it was funny in orbit.
Yeah, and I think you're intended to like build a base here, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna like start killing and not stop because I have Terminators.
Yeah, that sounds like extra work.
I mean, I've got Terminators. I give him assault cannons. Everything will be fine. So, Alpharius, we're not even sure what the state of Alpharius and Omegon are. Like, that's a Horus Heresy novel thing, is probably the only clarification of their existence you're ever going to get. Someone in the thread mentioned that apparently they can, like, teleport their minds into the bodies of others.
That is a more recent thing that I believe came out in basically Splat books. So who knows how canon that is? That's part,
yeah.
that's
like
part
I
of the
thought they were
point.
joking, but I thought no, wait, it's the Alpha Legion. It could be a thing.
The
twin brothers do have I believe a psychic link, but that's a common twins trope. So I don't really mind it.
Right.
But yeah, the Alpha Legion as they are all over the galaxy, just performing subversive actions against the Imperium, against Chaos, against one another. It's fairly safe to say all concept of the command structure has broken down, because everybody can just be their own boss. Why would you be somebody else's dude? Like, everybody's their own boss now. It's great. It's fantastic.
Pretty much.
So you'll get guys like Bale who don't really seem like commander material, but he is kind of still kind of there, and he's still kind of doing the thing. So it's like, you know, like, how do you argue with that?
This is this is very much how you how, like, what I was talking about with the sorts of things that Tzeentch loves, is that Tzeentch being the god of change and plots and everything like that. Having these sorts of situations where you have people who are technically in charge but don't seem like they should be in charge. That's unexpected. That's something that Tzeentch would absolutely love, particularly if it comes in to make something else that's really stupid and unexpected happen. And you know, knowing what we know right now, we should all be assured that with whatever plan we think Chaos has right now, we probably don't actually know, and nothing that we do is going to go to plan because it's the Alpha Legion. That's one of the ways that they're absolutely coolest, and how they're so much fun, particularly in the Horus Heresy books, when bluntly they were allowed to do things. I was bitching about this in the thread, but like during the Horus Heresy and so forth, when, you know, there's a lot of things going on to establish how the Primarchs work and establish a lot of the foundational lore. The Alpharius, Omegon, and their Legion are able to go out, do a lot of these really bonkers things, and establish themselves as good plot weavers and good tacticians, and just really fun to read because you don't know what to expect. It's a little bit like why everybody was really excited about Game of Thrones, is that you honestly didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
Yeah, like Omegon stepping out and being like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is Alpharius' twin brother," was kind of like a big "Wait, excuse me" moment in a good way.
Like, when did this happen? Did I miss something? Yes, you did miss something. Here are all of the clues, and there were in fact clues. That, like, it wasn't just a complete ass pull. There were in fact clues that a lot of this stuff was happening. It was very delightfully hinted at. And it like they did a great job with it.
Very thematically appropriate.
The thing is that after the Horus Heresy happened, the Alpha Legion becomes a Traitor Legion, and part of their entire thing was, as Robokai alluded to, they kind of just mess with everybody. Like, now we don't even truly know if they're truly a Traitor Legion. Are they actually like secret loyalists that are only attacking the Imperium in ways that don't matter right now, so it can ultimately be stronger? Are they undermining Chaos a lot more than we know? Etc. etc. We could go on all day. The thing is that nowadays, since actually allowing them to do anything would give evidence to answering that question, they're not allowed to do anything. Like outside of Dawn of War with the crap that Sindri and Bale are doing, like any Alpha Legion operators you see are usually just one-off people following whatever insane plot wormed its way into their heads. And they're frequently just executed in the moment, and nobody thinks about them again. They're not allowed to do anything. Yeah. It's so disappointing.
It's kind of funny in that regard, because I was thinking, who's the character who's arguably the Chaos character who's probably had arguably the most adventures that in Games Workshop lore, like Abaddon probably with all the Black Crusades, and I thought. Lots of little lore snippets that just sort of happen around the place. I reckon Kharn the Betrayer might be the one who gets the most.
Kharn the Betrayer is definitely somebody who keeps coming up again and again, because he's so much fun.
He's one of the most important characters in the Horus Heresy novel, so I love it. It's so funny to me. He's my favorite character. Like I'll just lean in here and say this.
This one's all you, buddy. This one's.
I used to post a lot on like 4chan's traditional games board, and I started a thing called Kharn the Betrayer is a heck of a guy, and wrote a lot of stories for that, and a lot of people like drew art and everything. It was like my happiest time, like when I was involved in like Warhammer 40,000.
I pissed myself reading those stories, and only learned something like 4 or 5 years later that Robokai wrote
and it's them. And obviously like I could never honestly prove it, except I do still have some of the old files of when I wrote them.
Also the fact that you've like one of your online handles has been the Traitor Guard Legion that's in there for longer than these things have existed.
Yeah. So
just pointing that
but the thing is that I like a lot of people really like the character of Kharn the Betrayer. Kharn the Betrayer he's basically a Traitor Legion boy who has been around pretty much as long as like the Emperor has been making Space Marines. He was a part of the World Eaters who unfortunately their Primarch was Angron, who had a real bad time of his existence. And I guess we'll go into the World Eaters a bit more once like Winter Assault happens, because that's the Traitor chapter we'll be fighting against then. And some of those missions we'll be doing will be a bit of a slog, so I should probably save everything there. But Kharn the Betrayer was from there, and he's been around for so long. And then they put him in the Horus Heresy novels, and we got to see him before he became like the Betrayer. And then they've started to make the fact that he's going to become the Betrayer a huge deal without compromising his character that they've established for him the entire time. And he's been having like the most interesting descent towards becoming Kharn the Betrayer as we know him currently. And he still just appears like every time Games Workshop is like, there's like a snippet of lore, like something happened here, and Kharn went haha and threw Kharn the Betrayer at it. And as a result, everyone fucking died. There was like one where it was just like reading and it was like this planet where some foppish nobleman was claiming that his warriors were the finest warriors in the galaxy and was holding this arena, and it was like really sad and pathetic, and Kharn was just like, okay, alright, you guys are really going to shame Colosseums like this, and just like tore open a hole in real space and just gently with a finger shoved Kharn the Betrayer out. And you gotta understand, Kharn the Betrayer, when we talk about Kharn the Betrayer, he's basically the guy that you put in a he gets run over by tanks, he gets killed by things, and he just gets back up again. Like literally, when I say he gets killed and gets back up again, he dies at the end of like the Siege of Terror in the Horus Heresy. That is part of his story. And then when they carried his body with reverence, reminder, angry berserkers of Kharn carried his body away in reverence. Like, these guys, who basically should have been just screaming blood for the blood god the whole time, just picked him up and went, oh no, we have to give this guy, we have to take him with us. And they left with him, and then he woke up on the dropship and went, oh fuck! And they all went, oh fuck! And it was just like, holy Christ, he really is the chosen one of Kharn, which is a huge deal. So, even death was not the end for him there. Like, he has suffered wounds so grievous that you were just like, okay, he's gone now. No, he lived. It's so crazy. But even more than that is there's no guarantee that while he's doing his thing, he's not just going to behead you as well. Like, he's not just gonna, swing his chain axe, out and just lob your head off because the other guy was further away and he just needed to up his kill count. There's a story called Wrath of Kharn, which is the best name for a name pun I think they could have done.
Yeah, but
and he literally has a kill counter on his mask, on his helmet, and it's so great.
Yep.
And it's a Slanesh demon tries to seduce him, and it works for all of 5 seconds before he just goes, "No, I like killing," and then just murders them.
One of my favorite crunch bits is that in the tabletop, if you deploy Kharn, he's got a special power that basically makes it so if he somehow misses with his insanely high weapon skill, he doesn't actually miss. He just turns around and hits one of his allies instead.
So you don't put anybody else into combat with him, unless if you're the kind of person that rolls ones.
which is so freaking good to me because Because implicitly what this means is that Kharn the Betrayer never misses what he's swinging at. He never misses what he's swinging at. He just isn't always swinging at what you want him to swing at. Like, okay, fine. Like, he's Kharn the fucking Betrayer. That's his prerogative.
Yeah,
okay?
when people make jokes, oh, you know, what would happen if the Doom guy got put in Warhammer 40,000? It's like he'd be deadlocked by Kharn the Betrayer for all eternity. Like,
yeah,
I don't care what you say. He's not getting past Kharn. Kharn's not getting through him either. But he's not getting. It's just like.
There's the on the subject of Kharn, this actually touches on something else. Is that there's this one delightful story where a particular war boss of a bunch of orcs was basically got a WA together and said, all right, we're gonna go find the best fight that ever was, and what they end up doing is they find their way into the warp into Khorne's domain, and then they just keep fighting and fighting and fighting all the way to the foot of the Skull Throne, where Kharn finally just throws everything he's got him, all of the greater demons, all of the horrors of the warp at him. And the war boss takes one look at everything that's arrayed against him and says, "See, boys, I told you I knew where the best fighting was." And Kharn was just so fucking impressed that he kept the orcs around, and some say they fight to this day.
Well, I don't think it wasn't so much the foot. It was a planet that was basically, the planet was like made of like 90% blood or something, and so like every time they killed a demon, the demons would come back up again, and finally the orcs were wiped out, and then the next day they all came back to life again because Kharn was like, yeah, no, that's great, let's keep doing that. And so these orcs are just like perpetually locked on this, like they're trapped, they can't leave. But they're gonna have all the fun. And hey, look, a new unit! The Obliterators!
Obliterators!
Oh boy, Obliterators. Here's the thing. We talked about how demons can possess machines. We've also seen that the demons can be encased inside of prisons by that same sort of metric. What if I told you it was possible for demons to possess viruses? For demons to possess nanomachines? For demons to become essentially demonic nanomachines that some Chaos Space Marines inject into themselves that then allows flesh and metal to fuse together and it will transform into different weapons. That's the Obliterator cult. And so what you get are these extremely heavily armored Swiss army guns. Like, there's no other way to put them. The Obliterator can just, like, go, oh, I'm fighting infantry, and his arm just turns into, like, heavy bolters and assault cannons and Reaper autocannons and all sorts of things, and just starts shooting. Like, they make their own ammo, they make their own guns. You know, they get close, oh, look, I'm suddenly sprouting chainswords from, like, every part of my body. Like, I have, like, you know, that fella from Deus Ex who wanted the skull gun. Obliterators have the skull gun. I only just have to think about it, and a las cannon comes out of their forehead and just goes boom, and just like beams through somebody. The Obliterator is like every, like, you know, the person who gets way too into guns. That's what he dreams of becoming. He dreams of becoming the Obliterator, and
Gunther Hermann is listening to this this episode. And is just sighing wistfully the entire time, thinking of how amazing it is.
So yes, they are in fact the answer to the Terminators. Individually, they are, I believe, stronger than a Terminator. Their squad sizes are much lower, and but they're pretty much great against everything. That is literally their gimmick. Is literally what they are shooting at, they will do heaps of damage to, and you will see them sort of switch what they're firing depending on what their target is, to some degree. Like even the distinction between infantry and like heavy infantry, they will like change their shot from like
they do,
and they also can teleport deep strike the same way a Terminator can. Which makes them, you know, a good counterpoint. It's nice. They didn't just go, here are Chaos Terminators, which are totally a thing that exists. They went, let's put the Obliterators in.
Also, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, yes, that is Bale, the Chaos Lord, just running at us and dying like 1,000 times during this.
We can actually,
at
this point just like walk up and stand on the place where the ritual's going on, and there's nobody there. It's kind of funny. I'll do that later. But like obviously the mission here is that we've got to take those 4 relic points, and then we can we've got to hold them for a certain period of time, and then once that timer goes down, then we win the stage. I'm mostly just sweeping around killing things because it's way too much fun.
That is the thing about this game, man. Just sweeping around crushing things is just so much fun. It feels so good.
It feels so good. Like, a lot of games, it's like, oh man, I gotta get from here to here, it's a grind, I gotta push over this, and it's like, no, every single step is a glorious explosion. PS Land Raider.
Yeah, PS Land Raider.
We're doing that again, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't build anything.
Why would you not?
Because honestly, the way this level just hands you Terminators, I didn't Obliterators. Please stop.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
Look at them. Look at their hand.
Pew, pew.
That's like those guns are their fingers. I don't know where some of them are firing though. Their accuracy is like a bit wonky. They're like. There we go. Gabriel Angelos is very mad at you boys.
Oh, hi, Gabe.
They're not too bad at close combat either. They, because obviously they can grow chainsaws, and also all manner of other things. Ah, God, just like the Chaos Forces do get some pretty fun stuff, and they weren't a chore to play as in Dawn of War. It's just that as the iterations have gone on through the Dark Crusade, they have gotten better in a lot of ways, and a bit more pronounced in their Space Marines that are better at close combat gimmick.
Yeah, the big problem with them really in the multiplayer was simply that they didn't have an early game at all, and like certain maps that isn't that big of a deal. They're bit the maps are big enough or choked enough that you can set up things that will delay you long enough so you can get your Obliterators, you can get your possessed Marines, you can get your Relic units and so on and so forth. But there's also a lot of maps where that does matter, right? Like you're just going to end up getting crushed under the early game Zerg of an Orc player, or endlessly harassed by flexible Space Marine units that you don't have a good answer to.
And so, we've probably seen a few of them before, and we've just seen them appear and vanish again, but there is... oh no, they're still there. These are the Horrors of Tzeentch. These are another... These are probably the mid-late anti-tank infantry, before you get to late game with the Obliterators. Now the way the horrors work is that you summon them, you deep strike them in, you can't replenish them, but they do have a pretty decent amount of damage. But they also, they lose their number, they lose their effectiveness, and you can't replace anybody. So you might as well just delete them and start again. So that's kind of a bit of a flaw with them, but they are still quite hefty punches. And the thing about the Horrors of Tzeentch in the lore is that you cut A, or you kill a pink one, and 2 blue ones pop out. It's kind of the thing about Tzeentch and the whole concept of change and just how from one plan 2 plans can spring as a result of the first plan being foiled. It's a really kind of a cool aspect to Tzeentch, and so we get Horrors as the only real regular unit that's god aligned to start with. The Relic unit is very specifically god aligned, and then we get.
It's also a lot of fun,
and we'll see that in the next episode.
There's a reason why I avoided saying it because if for those of you that aren't that terribly familiar with it, I don't want you looking it up before it happens. Like it's such
don't
a nice
do it.
reveal.
I'm slapping your hand.
Yeah,
I can see you reaching for your mouse. I'm fucking slapping it. I'm wearing a big gauntlet. I'm slapping your hand. Your hand is now crippled.
Don't deprive yourself.
You can't click off the video now.
That's one way to get our engagement numbers up.
I forgot that there was a side mission where you just destroy the buildings. I'm like, really? Oh, there you go. Destroy the chaos bases. Okay, I guess I did that. I'm like, oh, well, I guess that means there's probably not that much else to fight too. I should probably finish the mission now.
All right.
Begrudgingly finish the game mission.
We can't hold!
By my command.
I mean, there's still a base, and it's like up north, but like there's like I guess it means the ones inside the relic area. But yeah, you see, they went from firing las lasers to like firing essentially autocannon rounds, which is interesting because Chaos doesn't traditionally have access to the autocannon because the autocannon was a development after the Horus Heresy. They tend to use the Reaper autocannon, which is a much faster firing autocannon. It's kind of like typically carried by Chaos Terminators. It's like two autocannons that are built to fire slightly faster, and they just alternate fire. So it's just kind of like pump and shot at one another, one after another. Whereas the assault cannon is just straight up. I love the assault cannon.
It like yeah, the way the assault cannon is set up, it's basically an A-10's gun that gets strapped to somebody's hand. It's like, all right, well, I'm definitely intimidated by that.
The Blood Angels are fond of the assault cannon to a very large degree. They have a lot of different kinds of vehicle patterns that make use of them. They have the Baal Predator, which has instead of having an autocannon, has twin-linked assault cannons on its turret. They have
oh god
they've got, I think they've got a variation of Land Raider that uses assault cannons to some degree as well. I think they were the first when like the Codex came out for the Blood Angels a long time ago now. One of the editions, they were the first ones to get the Storm Raven gunships, I think, in rules, which gave them a flying unit that had assault cannons attached to it. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
like,
I think. Oh,
having an A10 cannon on somebody's arm wasn't scary enough. We had to put A10 cannons back on flying things.
I think the assault cannon Land Raider variant is the one the Black Templars are very fond of. Actually, I think it might have originally come from the Black Templars because I think it's got the assault cannon on top, and its sponsons are like it's called the Hurricane Bolter setup, where you get like about 6 bolters and just have them all fire at once.
Those are all also the ones in Chaos Gate. The you can get Hurricane Bolters on the sponsons of your Predators in that game, and it's exactly as insane as it sounds because like particularly in that game. You have the problem of you might have a 90% chance or whatever to hit a Chaos Space Marine, but because they're wearing power armor exactly the same way as a normal Space Marine, there's only like a 30 or 40% chance that the hit will penetrate and do any damage at all. So putting a Hurricane Bolter on a sponson is just like, okay, cool, one of these is getting through.
Yeah. So there's some great Land Raider variations. I always keep saying that, and I can't think of any more off the top of my head. But those are already quite plenty. The only sad thing is they can't capture points. If the Land Raiders could capture points, I think I'd be pretty happy. Just get a little robot arm out that just like puts a little flag in place. That would make me happy.
The guard does get a unit that can at least uncapture points
because there's nothing worse for any player than a highly mobile unit that can A, destroy your listening post very quickly, and then B, decap your point and run off before you can retaliate.
It is one of the trolliest things I've ever seen in an RTS game, and I'm totally
and because
fine
it's not
with
attached to the Eldar, and so the Eldar have to put up with it.
Yeah, like I mean. Even in terms of like the webway gate nonsense, there's been a number of factions in various games that's just like, haha, I do all sorts of teleportation nonsense. Aren't I annoying? And I'm just like, yes, you were annoying when I saw you 10 years ago. You're definitely annoying now. But then like just the Sentinel. Just shows up, wrecks your shit, and walks off with a troll face on
little
it.
chicken, on big chicken legs, I should say.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a giant chicken walker. Like it's just a giant chicken walker with las cannons on its chin, and it's so hilarious. You just walk up, boom. Okay, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, the pathing bug causing a lot of guardsmen to die needlessly there.
I'm sure they're used to it. Dying, I mean. They're the guard.
They were doing a pretty good job of not dying before, but you know, we get there in the end. This is just like you look at how much like resources I've gotten. It's just like, yeah, I really should have like probably been trying to close this out a lot sooner. I just got so caught up in it. You forget you record like when you're enjoying the game you're playing. You forget you're recording a Let's Play, to be honest. And like that's definitely what happened here. I would look at the recording clock and be like, oh, this is almost 45 minutes. It didn't feel like 45 minutes. It felt
like 20.
It felt like 20, and I was having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it's something we can talk. You know, it's like it's a game where you can talk about a lot.
Oh yeah, like this would be a problem if it wasn't a Warhammer 40k game, and we could fill another 10 episodes with this sort of stuff. Like just anything that's on screen, we can start talking about something, and it's going to become a rabbit hole. The only reason I'm not launching into another haranguing discussion is because I'm looking down here and I see we only have like 5 minutes left, and I know like at least 3 of those are going to be cutscenes that I can't cut.
And don't worry, folks. When Winter Assault starts and we get on the World Eaters, I will basically just unleash full Kharn the Betrayer autism when we talk about the World Eaters, because it is impossible to discuss the World Eaters without discussing how they shattered and how Kharn finally earned the name the Betrayer. So we will get there. We will get there. You'll just have to hold out. There's like 2 more missions here, and then we hit Winter Assault after this. Like,
yep.
Not a terribly long campaign, but of a satisfying length. It doesn't overstay its welcome. When we get to the, it's like,
yes.
look at this. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, we've almost got all of it. Let's just go see what's happening over here. That's a nice big cow symbol they got going on over there.
And there's a lot of muttering. I'm sure there's something fun going on.
Hey guys.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, no, it's like capture the relics. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, no, and those guys can't be killed. They're just sort of chilling there.
Cultist squad.
I've made a mistake, and of course I've cleared the map, so we're gonna have to wait for me to like finish holding the territory for a time. And it's like, don't even need to.
Fine.
Like I thought, oh, maybe it'll spawn waves of enemies to attack me. No, I comprehensively mopped the entirety of this. Like, it's like, we have to stop the chaos ritual quickly! And then I plotted an entire circle around the map, just murdering everything.
I mean, you stopped a lot of other chaos things going on.
I just go, wait, 3 minutes!
Time till spell broken.
We must give the Inquisitor time to penetrate the Chaos Sorcerer's...
Yeah, we totally can't penetrate, you know, we can't do anything about that. He's just totally just
Toth is just sort of being there, like, yeah, dude, let me finish lunch.
Initializing build protocol.
I must finish
something.
Captain. Diplomacy. I was like, I thought I was pressing the objective button, and I hit the diplomacy button instead. And I'm just like, what? I had completely forgotten there was even a diplomacy button. Obviously, the diplomacy button is there for multiplayer. But it was so funny to me that it's just like diplomacy is even like a thing in a Warhammer 40,000 game. Like, it cracks me up.
There's a reason it's named Dip.
Because just before you win, you dip out on your co-player and you murder him.
And also, you're a dip if you click on this button thinking it's going to do anything
You can
useful.
donate resources and things to other people, but it's just so funny to me because I can't remember the last time I ever clicked on it. I really legitimately can't remember the time I've ever clicked on it.
Yeah, like the multiplayer tends to be so fast paced that if you need to send resources to an ally, they're probably already on a losing cycle. Like, probably already there. Like, just saying.
It's so funny.
Obviously, at the high level play, it gets really important because some races are just like they don't require that much power. So comparatively, they're better at producing some extra power and giving it to their, for example, Eldar ally, who does require a lot more power.
1 minute from now, your life like fucking ends, cultists. I'm standing over like a cult ritual with a mallet held up. Just going in 1 minute. In 1 minute, your life ends.
Papaco from Pop Team Epic would be very pleased.
I ain't never gonna forgive.
I await your instructions.
There is no forgiveness for chaos.
Ah, dear. In the grim darkness of the far-flung future, there is a timer.
I mean,
It's like we don't want to launch into like
I
more
could
discussions
go-
and stuff because it's like we know we don't have time, but we still have to wait.
Yeah,
and I'm
like
not
anything
killing
we start
anything on
talking about.
screen. Blood for the blood god.
anything we would go to talk about is definitely going to take longer than the 3 minutes we had or the 15 seconds that we now
It's
have.
doing like little donuts around there. It's wrong with my life. There we go. Okay.
It does remind me of all of the times I would burn donuts in an intersection in a GTA game just to see if it would respond the way a Mafia game would. They never did.
Sindri! Sindri!
Lord Bale. The ritual failed to break the protective seal guarding the stone. But then, I already anticipated it, not worry. In fact, I counted on it. We require a larger sacrifice. It is time. Leave him. How dare you, sorcerer! My lord, never forget all power demands sacrifice. Thank you for yours. Sunday. There it is, as I promised. Yours for the taking.
Old friend.
Well,
You fucking idiot, Isidore.
yeah, freaking moron.
So quick question to the audience: how many of you went? He said the line when Bale went, Sindri!
Sindri! the voice actors in this game do not get enough love. Like, they're all amazing.
Like Sindri's
They're
voice
all
actor
amazing.
as he just goes, Lord Bale. It's just like, oh my god, yes. Like
he's so fucking
he just
done with this
grabbed
Bale
that
asshole.
old gothic architecture, pulled off a piece, and just big old chunk out of it and chewed it. Just so good.
Talking about she would see it.
So
again.
yeah, R.I.P. Lord Bale. Not the last memorable Chaos Lord we're going to see, because surprise, surprise, every single Chaos Lord in Dawn of War is memorable in their own way. the next one, but in particular, his love of like eating eyeballs. We'll see. But yes, that is the end of Lord Bale and the beginning of Isidore, Lord of Chaos. No, just kidding. He only fights us in the next mission. It's all Sindri, and it's all evil all the time. So yeah, next time we head off to deal with a traitor, because there is no way we're going to let that stand. I've been the Last Robokai,
And I have been Cool Guy.
and we'll see you all next time.